Danielle Colby's sentence is final, or at least that's what the internet is whispering. Once the fearless, tattooed heart of American pickers and a burlesque icon in her own right, Colby has vanished from the spotlight under a cloud of swirling rumors, legal murmurs, and personal turmoil. Goodbye forever isn't just dramatic tabloid phrasing anymore, it's the haunting phrase echoed by fans and followers left stunned by her abrupt disappearance. What happened behind the cameras, in the courtrooms, and perhaps in the shadows of her inner circle? This is the story of a woman adored by millions, and what may have finally brought her crashing down. The rise of a rust queen. Before Danielle Colby became synonymous with vintage chic and rusted Americana, she was a punk rock-loving, self-styled misfit from Davenport, Iowa. Her early life was marked by a blend of Midwestern grit and artistic rebellion. Raised in a deeply religious Jehovah's Witness household, Danielle eventually broke away from its strictures, an early sign of her lifelong resistance to conformity. This rebellious streak would later inform her unapologetic approach to burlesque, entrepreneurship, and self-expression. Colby's path to television was anything but conventional. She had worked as a roller derby player, a fashion designer, and a small business owner before stepping into the national spotlight. Her boutique, 4 Miles to Memphis, showcased her flair for vintage clothing and retro accessories. More than a passion, it was a lifestyle. Every item seemed to tell a story, and that storytelling instinct would soon become key to her mainstream appeal. That appeal came to fruition when she joined the cast of the History Channel's American Pickers in 2010. Recruited by longtime friend and co-star Mike Wolfe, Colby became the de facto office manager and logistical heart of the show. While Wolfe and Frank Fritz scoured barns and garages across America, Danielle kept the ship steady at antique archaeology, coordinating sales, researching finds, and captivating viewers with her charisma and edgy style. Her presence brought something new to the world of antiquing. Unlike the grizzled dealers and reclusive collectors viewers were used to, Colby was vibrant, tattooed, and unapologetically alternative. She turned old junk into objects of wonder and presented the past with a rock-and-roll attitude. Her visual identity, inked arms, vintage skirts, cat-eye glasses, became instantly recognizable, a brand in its own right. She wasn't a sidekick, she was a pillar. American Pickers was a massive success, reaching millions of viewers and spawning a passionate fanbase. For Colby, the platform opened up further opportunities for her personal ventures. But beneath the polished History Channel exterior, her world was always a few shades more complex and controversial than it seemed. Burlesque and backlash. Even as she gained fame for curating antiques on national television, Danielle Colby was developing a second identity that proved far more provocative. Long before American Pickers, she had immersed herself in the world of burlesque, captivated by its theatricality, sensuality, and empowerment. A trip to Chicago to see comedian and burlesque artist Margaret Cho proved pivotal. Inspired, Danielle began performing under the alias Danny Diesel, a bold, glamorous, vintage-styled persona that honored the golden era of burlesque. What began as a hobby evolved into a deeply personal art form and later a business. She formed the troupe Burlesque La Mustache, gaining notoriety across the Midwest, and eventually founded Danny Diesel's Bump and Grind Academy in Chicago, a burlesque school offering a safe and inclusive space for performers of all backgrounds and body types. Her dual identities, Danielle Colby the picker and Danny Diesel the performer, coexisted, but not always comfortably. Some fans of American Pickers, used to its family-friendly tone, expressed discomfort upon discovering her burlesque roots. Others celebrated her boldness and advocacy for body positivity and self-expression. Still, controversy followed. Commenters accused her of using her TV fame to promote adult content. Critics highlighted the perceived clash between her television role and sensual performances. Colby remained steadfast. She argued that burlesque was a historically significant art form rooted in satire, feminism, and cultural commentary, not pornography. The backlash intensified when Danielle leaned more into online platforms like OnlyFans and Patreon, where she shared burlesque performances and behind-the-scenes content. She made headlines by accusing social media algorithms of suppressing her content and disproportionately targeting sex workers and LGBTQ+ advocates. In a public post, she declared, "I know I'm being suppressed. I've been shadow banned, posts removed, even blocked from going live. This is the cost of speaking out, of being a woman, of defending marginalized communities." To critics, these statements were confrontational. To supporters, they were battle cries. What made Danielle's burlesque career uniquely incendiary wasn't the art itself, it was that she refused to compartmentalize it. She brought her full self, tattooed, empowered, and unapologetic, into every facet of her public life. She blurred the line between mainstream entertainment and underground performance, forcing viewers and networks alike to confront their discomfort with female agency. But for Danielle, the choice was already made. As she put it, "I was told a woman like me couldn't exist on TV. Couldn't be taken seriously. I exist anyway." Trouble beneath the surface. While Colby's public persona was fearless and empowering, cracks began forming behind the scenes. Rumors swirled, disagreements with production staff, speculation about financial strain, and a fractured relationship with Mike Wolfe. In mid-2022, fans noticed her appearances on American Pickers had become less frequent. Initially blamed on scheduling, insiders hinted that tensions were rising between Colby and network executives. The History Channel reportedly grew uneasy with her outspoken politics and provocative imagery, especially as they sought a more family-friendly tone. A former crew member revealed there were meetings. The execs weren't happy. Advertisers were emailing. It was like Danielle was living two lives, and they didn't want the fallout. Simultaneously, her personal businesses faced challenges. Her Iowa boutique closed in 2021, reportedly due to COVID-related losses and order disputes. Complaints surfaced online: unfulfilled orders, lack of communication. No lawsuits emerged, but her brand appeared under strain. Then came a copyright controversy. A Nevada burlesque performer issued a cease and desist, alleging Colby had used her choreography and costume concepts without credit. Though it never reached court, it cast another shadow. Danielle responded cryptically on Instagram, "Funny how people love you when you stay small, silent, and sweet. The second you grow louder, they call it trouble." And then came a shocking allegation. In early 2023, a Reddit thread exploded, accusing Colby of involvement in a missing artifact scandal. A rare motorcycle emblem, valued at over $70,000, vanished after a behind-the-scenes shoot. Screenshots surfaced showing the emblem in a setting resembling Colby's studio. The original collector made a public statement, "I'm not accusing anyone, but I'd like to know where my property ended up." Colby denied involvement. Her spokesperson called the claims baseless and defamatory. But the collector filed a formal complaint, citing mishandling under interstate trade regulations. Though never charged, Danielle and her team came under scrutiny. More troubling were whispers about using private antiques in her OnlyFans shoots without proper licensing. One report suggested she may have violated intellectual property laws by monetizing images of privately owned historical pieces, a legal gray area. Soon, online forums began using the phrase, "Her sentence is final." Final showdown with American Pickers. By spring 2023, Danielle's absence from American Pickers was unmistakable. While the History Channel made no official statement, insiders confirmed tension reached a boiling point. A production assistant from a 2023 shoot described Colby's final outburst: "She walked off set, upset. Said, 'This isn't the show I signed up for. You're all scared of the truth.'" The spark? A rejected pitch highlighting female pioneers of motorcycle culture. Producers allegedly dismissed it as off-brand. Colby, who had spent months preparing, was furious. A leaked email chain showed she gave an ultimatum: co-produce female-centered episodes or release her from contract. Weeks later, her bio vanished from the show's website. No farewell. No mention. Mike Wolfe posted vaguely, "Shows change. People grow. Roads diverge. All love and respect always." But fans weren't satisfied. A scathing blog post accused American Pickers of boys' club culture. Though not named, it was clear Danielle fought a battle and may have lost. The courtroom rumor and sealed docket. In late July 2023, fringe legal blogs began whispering about a sealed federal docket naming Danielle Colby. The alleged investigation involved the sale of looted artifacts. Some linked it to American Pickers, where Colby and others walked a thin line between curation and commerce. The sealed case reportedly involved museum curators, dealers, and TV personalities in multiple states. A Substack journalist cited a leaked memo from Homeland Security referencing a known TV personality linked to Native American artifacts. While redacted, sleuths believed it was Danielle. Yet no charges were filed. No arrest. Total silence. Some believed she cut a deal. Others suggested witness protection. TikTok sleuths speculated she'd assumed a new identity. Nothing confirmed, but something was happening. Goodbye forever, the post that broke the internet. On August 2, 2023, Danielle Colby posted an Instagram story, black screen, white text, no music, it's done. I fought until the end. Goodbye forever. It vanished within hours. Then came a farewell message to her OnlyFans and Patreon subscribers, coded, emotional. Reporters reached out. No response. Her collaborators declined interviews. Even Mike Wolf stayed silent. One of her final public comments, buried in fan replies, summed it all up: they want you smiling, selling, and sweet. I was never built for that. My story was never theirs to edit. Danielle Colby wasn't sentenced by a judge. She was sentenced by an industry that didn't know what to do with a woman who refused to conform. The body keeps the score. Even as Colby defied expectations, her body was fighting its own battles. In 2021, she revealed her struggle with uterine fibroids, a painful, exhausting condition. She eventually underwent a hysterectomy. I've been hiding a lot of pain, she wrote. But this was the right decision. Recovery was slow. Then, fans noticed changes: facial stiffness, cryptic updates. Colby later revealed she had trigeminal neuralgia, one of the most painful disorders known. A benign tumor near her trigeminal nerve required delicate surgery. Risk of facial paralysis loomed. She canceled appearances and retreated from public life. A post-surgery photo showed Danielle bandaged, tired, but unbroken. They told me I'd need to rest, she wrote. But I don't rest. I rise. Her performances returned, but less often. Friends said the experience left her more guarded, less interested in fame, more devoted to healing. Danielle Colby's story isn't over, but the chapter has closed. Whether she resurfaces or remains in the shadows, one thing is certain: she existed, anyway.